Hello, hello, hello. Autoimmune Prepper here. Thanks for coming to my channel. If this is your first time visiting, welcome. I encourage you to subscribe to my channel. Make sure that you hit the notification bell so that you're notified whenever I put out new videos. And if you are already a subscriber, welcome back. Thanks for being here. As always, I encourage you to leave comments down in the comments section, ask questions. You may have some information that I have not shared that may be helpful to others. And guess what today is? Today is Wednesday, which means this segment is Word of the Day Wednesday. Now, little housekeeping before I get started. As usual, I ask that you give the video a thumbs up. It will be greatly appreciated. It only takes a second of your time. You're already in the video. Just go over to the thumbs up, hit that, and then just enjoy the rest of the video. So thank you in advance for that. Also, share the video. You think it will help someone? I think it will. Share it. Sharing is caring. Now, today's word of the day is inspiration. So normally on Word of the Day Wednesday, I choose a word that I think would be helpful and healthy for my subscribers. And word of the day today, again, is inspiration. Now, I usually give a story or I pull up an article that is attached to the word of the day and share that information with you, and hopefully it helps you. If these word of the days are helping you or you find them interesting and you like them, please let me know in the comments section. I really appreciate it, and I appreciate all of you that are faithful that do comment on my videos. I really thank you for taking the time to give me a comment. And for those of you that give thumbs up. So everybody that views the video, just hit the thumbs up button real quick. Anyway, on with the word of the day's definition. So here we go. Let me get back over here. So, and let me back up a little bit. Now, the word of the day is inspiration. However, I'm going to speak to inspiration and motivation, what the differences are. So I'm going to do a little bit of that today. So inspiration, an inspiring agent or influence. The quality or state of being inspired. Something that is inspired. The act of drawing in. My phone just giving me all these notifications. A divine influence or action on a person believed to qualify him or her to receive and communicate sacred revelation. The action or power of moving the intellect or emotions. The act of influencing or suggesting opinions. Now, for me, I like to think that I offer to my subscribers a bit of both motivation and inspiration. At least that's the end goal. If you haven't watched all of my videos, or if you don't know the background, my background of why my channel is called Autoimmune Prepper, it is because back in February of 2016, I was diagnosed with a rare autoimmune illness called neuromyelitis optica. Currently, there is no cure for NMO. That's the short version of that long name. And it can be very unrelenting. Some people lost vision because of this disease. Some people were paralyzed, which is what happened to me from the waist down. But I have bounced back. I have had several accomplishments, and I'm just here I started the channel because I wanted to motivate and inspire individuals with disabilities, autoimmune illnesses, or just people in general that need to know about inspiring stories or to be motivated in other areas. So anyway, that's a little bit background of my story. It's a bit longer, but you can go and watch the video. I think it's titled, "Why'd She Name Her Channel That?" Or "Why is her channel named?" Something along those lines. Anyway, so differences between motivation and inspiration. People come across these terms, motivation and inspiration, quite often during the day, and many of them begin to use those terms interchangeably as if they were synonyms. However, they are not. They have, in fact, two completely different meanings. These meanings can be better understood by looking at the origin of each term. Motivation stems from the Latin term motivus, which means moving. And motivation is exactly that, something that moves us towards accomplishing a goal or doing any other action. In other words, it's the driving force that pushes us forward. In order to have motivation, you need to have a motive. The motive can be rooted in anything. You might want to do something for your own good or for someone else's, or you might have a completely different motive for doing something. The options are limitless and highly dependent on an individual's cases, but the core idea remains the same. On the other hand, there's inspiration. This term carries quite a lot of ambiguity and can be used to describe several things that are not completely similar. Therefore, I'll only focus on one, most common meaning of the term inspiration, and that is artistic inspiration. I'll briefly go over psychological inspiration, but since it's not a very common research topic in psychology, I'll mostly focus on artistic inspiration and inspiration in general. Namely, inspiration is mostly regarded as something that happens in our minds on the inside. Looking at the origin of the term can be helpful here as well. Inspirare means to breathe into in Latin. And pretty accurately describes what inspiration is. In other words, it's a kind of inner awakening, a sudden burst of creativity and productivity that was triggered by something, an event, another piece of art, a book, a movie, or etc. Now, it can be easier to see that these are, in fact, two completely different terms. The main difference comes from the fact that motivation is something outward, a goal to which we strive, and the force that pushes us towards that goal, whereas inspiration is something inward, a sudden burst of creativity and productivity that is triggered by something on the outside that connected with our personality and resonated well with it. So things associated with motivation: you like to generate new ideas, set goals, you focus on your dreams, you stay positive. So what is motivation? Motivation was extensively researched in psychology as opposed to inspiration. And currently there are several theories that describe it in different manners. The theory most commonly referred to is the incentive theory. The incentive theory distinguishes between intrinsic and extrinsic motivation. Intrinsic motivation is the thing that attracts us to new challenges the thing that makes us feel the need to gain new knowledge and realize just how capable we are, as well as research our boundaries. In other words, intrinsic motivation is what's been pushing humanity to develop civilization and advance in many areas of science. Extrinsic motivation is anything other than that. It's the type of motivation that we do for a certain outcome. If I know I'll get some money if I do something, I feel an extrinsic motivation pushing me to do that something, since I'm not doing it just for the sake of doing it. Bullet points. Motivation is the moving force that pushes us towards our goal. The distinction between intrinsic and extrinsic motivation is made based on where the roots of our motivation for a certain action are. It's fundamentally outward, since the motives are found in the outer world and not in the psyche. Okay, now on to inspiration. What is inspiration? As I've mentioned above, the term inspiration carries a lot of ambiguity. It can have different meanings depending on the context. It can be artistic, biblical, creative, psychological. The list goes on. Therefore, I will focus on the most common and well-known kind of inspiration, the artistic inspiration. There are many songs that were written since the ancient times about their writers finding inspiration in their muse, which was usually a woman, but it can be anything that brings them inspiration and allows them to create art freely. The concept of the muse can be used to describe what artistic inspiration is. Basically, something that we perceive in a certain way. The way we read, see, hear, smell can evoke a feeling of ecstatic creativity and will to create something new. These triggers are unique for each person and can practically be anything, as long as it somehow carries a deeper meaning that resonates well with the person's own mentality. So bullet points for there. Inspiration is the sudden burst of creativity and productivity triggered by our own personality or something that resonates well with our personality, evoking inspiration. In different areas, inspiration can carry different meanings. So the artistic, psychological, biblical, and creative, etc. It's fundamentally inward, closely connected to our own personality and mentality. So motivation, outward, inspiration, inward. It's like when you have those motivational speakers and they have like Tony Robbins, Les Brown, a lot of different motivational speakers. And even some of the preachers nowadays, to me, they kind of come off as like motivational speakers. And so they have you motivated, to do, certain things. But the thing about that is when you leave that arena and you leave that energy, the motivation just kind of trickles off of you as you go on about your life. So then you have to go back and search for more motivation. So anyway, summary of motivation and inspiration. Bullet points. Okay, motivation is a force that pushes us forward, evoked through external stimuli. Inspiration is a burst of creativity and productivity evoked through resonance between our inner selves and something else. A person needs both motivation and inspiration in order to fully succeed. The main difference is in the means of evocation and the focus of each term. There is a significant difference in the scientific research conducted on each term, with motivation being much more researched than inspiration. So, I hope you kind of grasp the difference between the motivation and inspiration terms. And again, I created this channel to be a combination of both. I show you my gardening skills from beginning to end, because I have none, so I'm learning as I go along. So I'm hoping that it motivates others to start gardening, prepping. I'm hoping that those things motivate individuals to start prepping. Inspiration are just the obstacles that I've overcome to get to where I am today. My story in itself is very inspiring. It comes from the inside. It's what happened to me. I'm sharing it. Those of you who have stories that are similar, I hope that my story inspires you to move beyond. Hopefully you're not in a stuck place or in a dark place. If so, just know that there is light at the end of the tunnel. 5 years ago, you probably wouldn't have been able to pay me to believe that was true. Although I always kept a smile on my face, a tough exterior, behind closed doors. When I was alone, sometimes it wasn't so pretty. But I overcame that. I'm in a new space. I have plenty of accomplishments, plenty of projects to work on to keep myself inspired and motivated. And that is what I'm here to help you do. So, again, in the comments section, leave your comments, leave your questions. If you have an inspiring or motivating story, please feel free to share it there. You know, other people need to know other people's stories. Don't harbor it. Don't keep it to yourself. Share it, good or bad. That way you can get the support that you need. We all need a support system. I'm here to be a support system to you, and I hope from you to me as well. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed the word of the day and the differences between inspiration and motivation. And don't forget, you still have to wake up every day and start it with that attitude of gratitude. And I will see you guys in the next video. Bye.